Okay, I'm recording for the ones who aren't going to be able to be here because they had to work. Not that I think cleaning a stall is all that interesting. I don't know, maybe I could do the jig for you guys and make it a little bit more fun, but we shall see. Oh, these flies are just absolutely horrid this year. I spray my horses every day, or at least every other day, and that's another thing that we're going to need. If we take on horses and we get this really up and running, is we're going to need things like fly spray. Fly spray is extremely expensive. Donations of that would really help to get this up and running, especially in the summertime. In the wintertime, it's not that big a deal. Eddie doesn't know I'm live broadcasting again. He's going to come down here and he's going to think I'm talking to myself again. You don't know how many times I come down here thinking I have people watching me now. And I'll sit there and I'll be talking and like, oh, they're not there. I really miss having you guys down here to talk to because I go in and I check the questions and have something to talk about and think about while I was in here. I really don't think that I'm all that interesting personally, but because I had people hoping that I would come back on, that's why I went ahead and got back on. I don't think I'm all that interesting, but I think it's really neat that you guys think I am. We always have a nice pea spot down here in the little gully. I think Clipsy likes her little spot over here, and that's where she always goes. And then Mama does the big ones over here. You guys, when I bring them in, you're going to be absolutely amazed at how much Clipsy has grown this past week. And that's why I've tried to keep you all updated with the little videos on Facebook, but my poor little laptop computer is saying, I can't breathe! So, hopefully we'll find a way to get back up and running and I can leave it in the barn and you guys can have it in real time longer than you do now. And that's what I'm hoping for. Looking for Easter eggs. Looking for Easter eggs. Now I did wet Fire's hay, and I have been now. I started doing it when she wasn't drinking enough water, and now I'm doing it too because she developed a little bit of a cough, and it's really hard to find good quality hay. And I thought, well, maybe, you know, the hay's a little dusty, maybe that's what's doing it to her. And I had a pony who had what's called the heaves, and it's kind of like asthma for horses. And she lived pretty long still, and that's the way I got her is Hebe. So I got her for free. Her name was Itchy. Loved her to death. Every single one of my kids learned how to ride on her. She could be ornery just like any pony, but she was the best pony that I think I've ever owned personality-wise. She was a good girl, and that's one that I really miss, especially for lessons. She was awesome. I told Eddie about my idea for Barn Angel, and he kind of rolled his eyes a little bit because he's thinking, yeah, she'll get interested in doing something, and then she'll quit again. But I really think if I have support and help from everybody else, this is something that's just going to take off, and we're going to have a lot more support in the coming months, years, whatever. And I like the Barn Angels part, and I insisted that part stay because every single one of my viewers that watched when I couldn't watch, you were such a big help. It was unbelievable. I mean, that way I could know what was going on at night when I had to get my sleep. And it was a bigger help than most of you realize. And I hope I've expressed how much, I appreciated that to you guys. Because it really was very helpful, and not only that, not just being able to tell me what was going on at night, you guys were there just to give me company and support while I was down here working in the barn. Really, really neat concept, and I don't know how many other people, do this, but if they don't, they really should, because it's such a big help. And I know your bigger horse farms, they have somebody there all night long anyway. They have their night watchman in person. But having a night watchman like you guys was the best way I could do it. And that way we had some interactive television. You can't get that on regular TV, so I thought that was pretty neat. And I wanted to keep it interactive with you all. So if we start the Barn Angels Recovery Network, I'm sure there'll be plenty of horses that we're going to have to watch throughout the night. And we're going to have to know if they need us or not. I mean, we may even have to bring in foals or mares that are in foal who have been starved. I've had people buy a horse and not even know that it was pregnant, and all of a sudden they wake up one day and voila, they think their horse is getting fat, and they've got this baby standing in the field. All of a sudden they're like, what? I thought my horse was just fat. Luckily that's never happened to me, because I'd probably die, but I try to keep my horses to a minimum. Financially, I always want to make sure that my guys are taken care of, and the vet bills that I've had lately, that's been a little bit tight there, but I'm surviving, and I know a lot of people, they think they can and they can't, and I would rather have to say goodbye to a horse and give it a good home than try to keep it and not afford it like some do. Alright, go dump her poop. Guys, give me a second. I gotta scoot some things around, get my straw bale freed up. Making sure that I don't rip my camera off. Yes, I did. Yay! An empty stall! Woohoo! But I think what we plan on doing, guys, is so much more interesting than most of the things you see on True TV and even on Animal Planet. And I think this would just be I really think this is something that's going to take off for us all. Being that it's a combined effort, it just makes it all the more fun and interesting. driving me insane. Now it's, you know, you got one fly in your broom that keeps flying around your ear no matter what you do. God, that's annoying. Try 100 of them. They are so bad this year. It's absolutely amazing how bad they are. I'm gonna have to get, hopefully I can get some automatic fly sprayers in here. I had them one year. I don't think they were covering the whole barn. Well, I guess one of our first lessons is how we can clean a stall. Now, I tried something quite different this year, and it's really working out good for me. I really like it. Usually I get sawdust by the truckloads. It's not cleaned and washed and sanitized as well. So when I have the babies, the young babies, then I like to use the pine shavings or the processed sawdust. That can, when you use that for the youngins though, it's just not good, and then foaling it is even worse. What I found this year that works really great for me though, is when I put a little sawdust underneath the straw, because the straw is not very absorbent, and I believe that the sawdust or pine shavings is. It's been working really well for me because I feel like it stays so much drier because it all stays in one spot rather than all over the stall and all over the straw. And not to mention when you go to take the straw out and it's soaking wet, you end up splashing it all over yourself, and that to me is just kind of nasty. Now, a lot of times I'll just put the sawdust right now in the, kind of like the dip that I have in the stall, because that's where, of course, all the yarn kind of runs to. And I also try and keep it away from the sides of the stall, just for the simple fact that the horses are going to push it over towards the edges of the stall anyway. So if it starts in the middle, it's going to end up where it needs to be. I'll put this in my pocket before I forget. My razor knife. I always cut the bale strings at the knot, because around here I've used baling twine for a heck of a lot of things, so that way you have a longer piece. Called duct tape and twine. It'll fix most anything on a farm. My stallion has been so crazy this week. After Fire got out and she had her little trot through the yard, got him all excited, got all the mares excited, and every single one of them at the same time came into season. Well, my stallion wasn't too happy with that. He's been pacing the fence and screaming, and I had all my horses all worked up, so I decided to move them all the way up in field 5, and that's some of the pictures you've seen of on my Facebook page of the horses running through that new field. There is grass as well, but it's under construction. But they're all older horses, and they know what they can get into and what they can't. If it's there, though, they can find a way to hurt themselves on it, no matter where they are, as far as I'm concerned. But they were all running around, wanting down to my stallion to at least talk to them. And my stallion was being very, very obstinate. I had never, ever, ever seen him like that. But I think when all the mares saw Fire and her beautiful baby, they decided it was a good idea and they wanted to do it too. It's funny how they're like that. And I think it really depressed Madge though, because her stall is right across from Fire's, and I really think she was depressed for quite some time afterwards. And that just makes me so sad to know that she's upset. And there goes baby screaming again. He is not going to be happy until he finds himself a girlfriend this year. But because the economy, I am not breeding this year. The reason why I bred Fire in the first place is we lost our daughter's foal 2 years ago, and I wanted her to have a chance to raise another one like she wanted. And well, then she tells me she's joining the Army, so that's why Clipsy is for sale, because she was not meant to be for sale, but now she is. And I hate to see my horses go, but I know if I sell them to a good home, and they're being properly taken care of, and they're getting the attention that they deserve, then that to me is a good thing. And I take pride, when I sell my babies, I take a lot of pride in when people enjoy their horses. And that I know that I was the one who looked for the right bloodlines, bred the horses that I found would work together, and that to me was just fabulous. Now my one mare, Tally, she's ornery. She's a great mover. She's thoroughbred and Arabian. I was hoping she'd get the Arabian movement for dressage because they just absolutely float. But I was hoping to get the size from the thoroughbred. I looked far and wide for a thoroughbred mare that was large enough to hopefully get the size that I wanted. And she was 17 hands. Absolutely amazingly strong horse. Biggest mare I've ever seen in my life, even when it comes to a thoroughbred. Okay, I'll go back to chat. I'll keep jumping back and forth for everybody because my chat was not loading at first. Now it is. Okay. I hate bronchitis. It stinks. You can't sleep at night. Bronchitis is not contagious though. I haven't found volunteers for food and hay just yet, but I'm sure if there's a will, there's a way that somebody will come through.
I do read your posts as much as I possibly can. It's hard for me to go back and forth between trying to get stuff done and chat with you guys. So I try to answer all your questions that you have. And I most certainly will, especially if you post them on Facebook. I can definitely answer them for you. I cannot stay up longer than today, just for the simple fact that my computer is sucking in dust like crazy, and it's going to have bronchitis too. I'll try to leave it up at least for the evening, so that way you guys can kind of take a look at those guys through the night and tell me what they're up to, since I'm not in here at night. But right now I'm going to go ahead and change Fire's water, and I'm going to get her grain, and you guys can see how much that baby is really eating. It's so cute. I would have never thought that having all this help was possible to do something like this until I met all you guys on Ustream. How much more interactive can you get? Having Barn Angels helping you take care of everything and doing something good for the horses in the meantime is amazing. To be honest with you guys, I most likely would not be doing this right now. You guys weren't there to support me as such awesome people. In the right pocket here. These up like I said I was going to do yesterday. Don't need baby jumping on it and breaking herself. We don't need another emergency right now. That's for sure. Switching over to chat so I can see any questions. I hope your daughter feels better soon, Shake. Let's get Fire some nummy-nummies. Sure she'll be happy to come down.
get yours. Another thing I was thinking, if we get started with the Barn Angels Network, is we might need supplements for these guys too, because we don't know what kind of health condition they're going to be in. And that's, you know, that'll be on a need-to-know basis, I guess. But a lot of times they need help for their hooves when they're malnourished. Their hooves will be cracked and really have a hard time growing if it's not kept up on. Not being kept up on, as well as having, you know, poor nutrition, can really, really hurt a horse's hooves. I don't know how many of you were watching when I had the farrier here. His saying is, no hoof, no horse, and that can't be any more true.